Thank you very much for that introduction. Thank you everybody for coming out today. It is awesome to see so many people here to support Wesley. I'm just going to start by saying I met Wes professionally through another attorney who happens to be my fiance, who vouched for him and told me how great he was. And I agreed once I actually met with him, and we kind of sat down when Wes decided he was going to run. And I said, well, let me tell you, I've been working in the St. Louis County Public Defender's Office. It's been 5 years. And I talked about some of the major concerns my office has and some of the stuff that we see going on in Bob McCullough's office that are constant problems and that are not helping this community. And I'm very happy to see, as Wes has campaigned and his platform has developed, that he has solutions to a lot of the problems Bob McCullough's office has created in St. Louis County. And so I'll back up a little bit, and I do want to give, it's going to be a little lesson on kind of how criminal cases work in St. Louis County and why that matters, why the prosecutor who is in charge in St. Louis County really affects every aspect of our lives. The prosecutor is the one who decides when a police officer comes in and says, I think somebody has committed a crime and here's why. The prosecutor is the one who decides, yeah, I think we should go ahead and charge that person, or, otherwise, if it's not enough or we think there might be another solution, here's what we're going to do. The way it works now in St. Louis County, Bob McCullough does not have an interest in addressing why somebody might have committed a crime or why they might be in a position where they find themselves in trouble with police officers. And I will tell you, the majority of my clients, overwhelming majority, either have problems with mental health or substance abuse. The majority of people don't wake up one morning and decide to go commit a crime just because they think it's going to be a fun afternoon. A lot of why people find themselves in trouble with the law has to do with an untreated mental health problem or an untreated substance abuse problem. Bob's office claims that they have all of these great diversionary programs that are supposed to help people in those positions. He claims that he has a pre-plea diversionary program for drug addicts, where if you get arrested, you haven't received treatment, we won't charge you. We'll give you an opportunity to go through this program to get you some help, and you never have to enter a plea if you complete that program. I've been there 5 years. Not one client of mine has ever been offered a pre-plea diversionary program. There are 19 attorneys in my office. Not one attorney in my office has ever been offered a pre-plea diversionary program. None. When Bob McCullough comes out and says, I care about the community and I want to prevent crime before it happens, he's not actually doing the things that need to be done to make that happen. And the diversionary programs is one of them. If you take somebody who's in a tough spot financially, with their mental health or with drugs, and then you saddle them with a felony conviction and you lock them up, like I've told this story to a couple of people here tonight. I have a client who's in jail right now. He was going to graduate from high school this fall. He got in trouble for the first time, nonviolent offense. I couldn't get him out of jail. I could not get the judge to agree to let him out of jail because Bob McCullough's office opposed reducing his bond. He can't graduate from high school now. And how is he supposed to go out and become a productive member of society if you take away any opportunity that he might have had? And it's a cycle. When you have parents who become incarcerated and lose their jobs, they can't provide for their children, and their kids are then in the same position. This is not opinion. This is fact, and we see this in our communities every day. And I see every day that I deal with Bob McCullough that he doesn't actually care about these problems. Wesley Bell had a campaign event a few weeks ago It was supposed to be a debate. Bob McCullough says he didn't get invited, so he didn't know about it. He didn't know to come. But you know who did come? His second in command showed up at Wesley's event, took notes about Wesley's platform and everything Wesley said, and then a week later, Bob McCullough has a Facebook page outlining a bunch of his policies, and wouldn't you know, they pretty much map every issue that Wesley Bell has said is important for our community.
Wow.
And Bob's position, everything he said is a lie. He said they don't issue bonds on drug cases and nonviolent offenses. That is a lie. I just got a new case on Friday. Simple drug possession, $15,000 bond. That case was issued June 8th. So Bob is out there saying his office policy is we're not going to lock people up for nonviolent drug offenses, but that's what they're doing, and he's sending all the prosecutors in his office to court to argue against these people getting released. He also talked about in his little press release that he doesn't criminalize people because they're poor. He doesn't want to criminalize people because they don't have resources. But in the time that he's been in office, he created an entire branch of his office whose only job is to prosecute people who are too poor to pay their child support. They actively try to send people to prison who don't have the money to pay their child support. Explain to me how that is not criminalizing somebody who is indigent. That's exactly what he's doing. Bob is not interested in doing things differently than how he has done them for 27 years. This man has been in office for nearly 3 decades. I don't know if anybody here feels like that has helped their community. Has it helped reduce violence?
No.
Have you seen people performing better, teenagers graduating at higher rates, people getting what Bob claims he gives everybody a second chance? We even give people third chances. This is all on his Facebook page. Is that what you've seen?
No.
Have we seen that happening in this community?
No.
He's been doing the same thing for 27 years. It's not making things safer. It's not helping St. Louis County. It's making it worse. And we've given him 27 years of chances to figure it out, and it hasn't happened. When we talk about mental health court, last time I checked, and this was within the past few months, there are 10 people in St. Louis County mental health court currently. And that's a new program that Bob wants to go on TV and say, look at what I've done. Look at this court I've created. It was created within the last 2 years, not by Bob, by the St. Louis County judicial system. And he's had 27 years. Where was this mental health court program 20 years ago? Where was the drug court program 20 years ago? Bob was not in favor of this drug court program when it was created, and he is not dedicating enough resources currently to getting people into it. I have 2 clients currently that have been approved for drug court and have been waiting for their cases to get transferred there for almost a year because they don't have it staffed adequately enough to actually get all of the people that qualify for that program into it. And that's something else that's really interesting about Bob's office. He claims he has all of these great diversionary programs and that people have that opportunity. I have gotten a letter for every single client I have ever asked to be considered for mental health court. I have gotten a rejection letter that does not tell me why my client doesn't qualify. So we have his office, Bob McCullough's office decides, do you qualify for mental health court? And they decide if you're going to be able to participate in the program. But the attorneys who are working in St. Louis County to try to get their clients help don't know what the requirements are to get somebody into that program.